the husband of the lady in question, and her name as well is Nana Ikia Nyako Osebonsu. Am I right?
Sure.
All right. Oh, good evening to you, Malopia.
Good evening.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Okay, we thank God to hear that. How have you been? I've been
managing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. All right. So this is not to cause you any pain or to bring back bad memories, but we just want you to take us down memory lane on what happened between July 2019 and November 2019, and then the aftermath of that, please.
Okay. So I think, as usual with every pregnant woman, you have to register with a facility for your antenatal. So she registered with Ridge Hospital. She's a nurse with the Medina Polyclinic.
Okay.
So I was even expecting maybe she would have registered with her facility, but because of the new tenant at Ridge Hospital, it became more or less like a model for maternal issues. So she opted to go and have her antenatal at Ridge Hospital. So she started on the 4th week, and then it continued till on the 8th week.
Okay.
When we noticed that the weight of the fetus was reducing. Because anytime you go, she does scan, it moved from 2.8, came to 2.5, then came to 2.2. So it became imminent that we have to now let her go and see the Ridge, doctors at Ridge, so that we know what the problem is.
Right.
So they asked her to do a scan called Doppler scan. And the Doppler scan gives a lot of details as to what it entails in the system, in her system. And they were able to diagnose her of a condition called IUGR, which is intra-uterine gestation restriction, which points to the fact that there is placenta deficiency. So for every fetus, there is a movement of water between the kid and then the mother, which is the source of food. If it doesn't come the way it's supposed to come, then there's a deficiency somewhere, which affects the development of the kid's organs and other things. So there was deficient there. So what happens was that then they have to bring the kid, when it's in the stomach, it's called neonate. So they have to bring the neonate out, put it under neonatal care, which is the incubator to develop.
Okay.
So they did the operation. It went successfully. That was on the 16th of December. Then it came out that we have lost the kid. So
after the surgery?
Yeah, we lost the kid. The kid couldn't survive it. But what happened was I was not that much troubled, because looking at the situation whereby the weight was even reducing, it pointed to the fact that there's a problem somewhere. So my emphasis rather went on the mother, because she is the one that still finds herself alive, and when she's alive, there's more room for improvement.
Right.
So we just discussed it. I left her and I came home, only to be called to come back to the hospital. Then when I got there, I was asked that they would need a family member to join me. So I was a little confused, because I've been with her throughout. So why this particular situation you need
someone else?
Only for them to make the news to me that I have lost her too. What happened was, when the news was broken to me, I cast my mind back as to when I met her, how strong she was looking, how optimistic she was that everything went on well. So automatically something triggered me that there will be a problem somewhere.
Right.
So I requested for an autopsy.
Okay.
And when she passed on, they came with a situation that is called embolism. Yeah.
And did they tell you what it meant?
Okay, so if you check the human system, our system is in a way that anytime there's a cut on you, even in your own hand, if you cut your body, the body produces small clots of blood within you to prevent you from bleeding profusely. So anytime there's an operation, anyone that goes through operation automatically becomes susceptible to those small blood clots. Now what happens is that if you stay idle for a very long time, those small clots come together to form a bigger clot, which is called embolus. Now when you check our system, the veins we have is the space within our veins is bigger than the one that enters into the heart, which is the artery.
Okay.
So if the embolus is moving within your veins and it gets to the heart, because the one in the heart is smaller, it blocks it. You understand? So
Yes.
it's like a big pipe. So if there is a bigger embolus in the big pipe and it's moving into a smaller pipe, it will block it.
Okay.
So what happens is that they have to put you on a medication to prevent that small clot that formed earlier on from coming together to form a bigger one, which is called the embolus. So initially I was told the situation is embolism, meaning blood clot. That is all all that it means. So I applied for autopsy. I went through the autopsy. I saw everything I'm supposed to see. And then I was briefed that it is post-operational, meaning the situation happened because of the operation. Yeah, after the operation. So that was what struck me to ask a lot of questions, because if it is post-operational, meaning there should be precautionary measures to prevent such a situation.
Yeah, so someone didn't do their job well.
So in my inquiry, it came out that there's supposed to be a drug which mostly is being given to pregnant women after surgery to prevent embolism. Then I asked, what's the name of this drug? They gave me a lot of the names. But Ridge Hospital as a facility have one particular one they prescribe, which is called Fragmen. So I wrote a letter to the Director General of Ridge Hospital asking if such measures were being adhered to. And in their own reply, they gave me a report, full report on account of what transpired, only for them to implicate me that they asked me to buy the drug and I couldn't buy the drug.
They implicate, so now they were turning the whole thing and pointing it to you.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that was what struck me to see that no, then there's a problem somewhere, because no one has seen me to ask me anything. And the said drug is not even up to 100 cedis.
Ooh.
So it would be surprising that anyone would look into my face and tell me they asked me to buy anything.
And
so
you did not.
I came home, went through her medications, receipt of drugs that we bought, only for me to discover that the said drug was bought and paid for.
Wait, what? I was thinking that it was not even prescribed.
Okay, so prior to the surgery, they have something they call CS pack.
Okay.
Now, on the prescription, they write C/S pack. But the component that has to do with the CS pack, I didn't know at that material moment. Now, when you get to the pharmacy, you give them the prescription form. They will tell you, pay this amount of money. When you pay, they know the drugs that contains, that makes up the CS pack. So, fortunately for me, the receipt of drugs that has to do with the CS pack had the fragment in it.
But you guys didn't receive it.
No, I'm not supposed to dispense it. The person is already in your admission.
So you have to administer.
So if you are going to do an operation, you say, okay, the whole operation will cost 10,000 Ghana. If I pay the 10,000, I don't go and look for the drugs.
Okay.
You have to provide it. But you will give me receipt that I have paid for it. So in that receipt was when I saw the name of that drug added that is part of the one that I paid for. I mean, I'm not the one supposed to go and find it. They're supposed to give it out.
Yes.
Now, so I took the receipt back to them for them to tell me that they were looking for the drug, they couldn't find the drug, and they prescribed one for me because they didn't even have one in their pharmacy stock.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, no problem. So now I started doing my own investigation to unravel a lot of things. And it came out that, number one, we bought the drug. Number two, even in the hospital's own management plan. So after operation, there's a management plan as to how to take care of every patient, depending on the person's situation. There was no way, there was nowhere. The name of that drug is called anticoagulant, which is something that prevents blood clotting. There was no anticoagulant in that management plan, which is number one. Now, number two, they claim they didn't have one in their pharmacy stock, so they prescribed one for me. We requested them to give us the search prescription. They couldn't provide it. Then we went on to say, okay, we want all stock of that particular drug in their whole hospital's administration. And it came out that they have more than 20,000 pieces of it. Now, it also came out that prior to, so the drug is supposed to be given within the 12 hour. And in their own report, they stated that in the hospital's own administration, they provide anticoagulants 12 hours after cesarean session.
Okay.
Now, what we also noticed was that she passed on the 16th hour. So prior to her having the like
All the complications.
when the situations happened that
Yeah.
the blood clot came, she became saturated. Now when she became saturated, they gave her a drug, a generic drug, which was an anticoagulant called Clexane. Now it also came out that the Clexane was even a national health insurance covered drug. So we were with the view that if you could not find a fragment which you said I didn't buy, why didn't you give her the
What is
Clexane,
already covered?
which is even covered under national health? So that also, and later they said even that drug is not covered. We went to national health and were given documents that even Rich takes money for Clexane.
Wow, you did a lot.
Yeah, 4 years in court.
Wait, so before we need to take a break, but we'll do so. But before the break, I just want to find this out quickly. You seem to know so much about the medical terminologies and the conditions, the drugs, and all of that. Have you ever been in the medical environment? Have you ever studied medicine, or this particular issue is what caused you to do your own research and to learn about these things?
I'm a bit inquisitorial, so I think that also led me there. And I think I'm also a science student, so I did chemistry at the University of Ghana.
Okay.
So it also opened up certain things. But
Okay.
getting to understand the human body, when you do chemistry, you have a program under biochemistry. We did a little human body. So words like anticoagulant, embolism, I know them.
You know them. All
But what struck me more, because I know doctors that even their wives will die and they can't even investigate what happened. I think the zeal to get to the bottom of it was what helped me. Because at some point when I needed her medical report, I have to even hack into their account.
Yo. Wow. You, what? There's so much to this conversation. And I mean, please, if you're tuned in and you're probably, you know, someone who'd be interested in this, someone who has had such an issue but has swept it under the carpet or has been bullied out of it, tell them to tune in to Z101.9 FM, because we have a professional in the house and he's going to be teaching us the ropes. So we are going to take a break and go for the news, the sports update with Jonathan, just for a few minutes, and then we are back in the studio. Stay with us and do not go anywhere.
The stage is set for something.
It is time to go racing.
Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh!
of sports. Now we are back to talking to Mr. Mohammed Mustapha in the studio. I believe that from 2019, if you were keen on the story, you would have listened in and you'd have realized that this July, the court actually made a verdict, and yeah, we would say that justice has been served in a way, but we'll find out from Mr. Mohammed if truly justice has been served. So now we get to the part where you have investigated, you have found out that the shortcomings was from the hospital, and a lot of things that they were supposed to do, they neglected. So that was medical negligence that caused the life of not just your baby, but your wife as well. Where do you go from there?
Okay, so I think after that incident, I tried, one thing that came in mind was that since I've been able to unravel what caused the death, let me approach the hospital, discuss with them, and see if there are punitive measures that could be given to those in charge.
Right.
So at that material moment, my focus was on, okay, let me report to the hospital administration, let them punish those who did that. But getting closer to the hospital administration rather made me understand that there seems to be some cabal within the hospital administration. So, okay, let's protect our own mentality.
Wow.
That was what made me understand that there a lot of people are very vulnerable to the kind of hospital that we have in our system. Because I believe if I go to a hospital and there's a problem and I report to the head, they're supposed to run an investigation, audit it, come out with what transpired, and then punish whoever is involved to serve as deterrent to other health practitioners there. But to come to a situation whereby they even dared me that I should do my worst, I'm not the one to come and tell them what to do and all those things. Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah, Dr. Sefranyo, Emmanuel Sefranyo.
He told you to your face?
He walked me even out of his office. He walked me, he said I should walk out of his office. I'm not the one to tell them what to do and all those things. And I told him, is that what you're telling me? He said, yes. I said, wow.
Wait, Mr. Mohammed, wait. You're trying to tell me that your child and your wife had passed due to no fault of theirs or yours, but due to health practitioners who are practicing actively, they had claimed the lives of two of your loved ones, and you reported to superiors, and one had the guts to tell you to your face.
And the reason he dared me more is that I wanted them to understand. So he wanted to take side of the fact that they asked me to buy the drug and I didn't buy. And I said, this is the receipt of the drug. I'm showing you the receipt. This is coming from your own hospital. So why are you telling me that what they are rather saying is correct? I was expecting you to, like, so you'd be like, oh, sir, you bought it. Call me this, call me that. So I'll just be sitting there, be watching the way he blast them, then I'll just leave.
And that would have been enough for you.
But the man was like, no. He was very stringent, supporting them, and I said, is that so? So I think the next day I went to the doctor, the one that performed the surgery. That they are almost beat him at his consultation. Ask him, where did you meet me to ask me? Then he was just watching me. And he didn't know where that report is coming from. I said, no, it is coming from your end because you are the head of the team that took care of my wife. So the team became more or less banter, and I noticed, no, these people can help me. So I left them. Now, when I left them, I decided to go to the Ghana Medical and Dental Council. But I was like, all these people, if I have to see this, it looks like there's a cabal. They can't help you. Find another alternative. So that was when I started running my investigation. So first of all, I wanted to have her medical record.
Okay.
Her full medical, and Ridge is running an online, like automated one. So they type it. It's not folder. So when you can, whatever goes on is in their system.
Okay.
Now it is only court that can compel them to bring it out. When you tell them, don't give it to you. And I also wanted to know what really transpired.
Right.
That was when I did my things and I went into the system and just printed it out.
You got everything you needed.
Yes. And through that, I even got to know that they didn't even add it to their management plan. That they will even give it to her.
So right from the get-go, from the top, the mistake was just there like that. And
so that was when I decided to file the suit. We filed the suit just 6 months after her death. And it's been on till today. And we've had 5 judges in all coming through. Fortunately, the last judge was the one that I was even thinking it would be difficult, but he made it so smooth. He was a difficult man. Because even when he was reading the judgment, he read the judgment almost 1 hour, 45 minutes. And after 1 hour, we didn't even know who is winning.
He was stringent too,
Yes,
eh?
because the man is A, B, B.
Wow.
So he just mentioned one word. And therefore, I find the defendant negligent. And I say, what? Yes. Could it be like he's going in my favor? Even to that time, you won't even know where he is. Because he will give you the prima facie, what transpired from the beginning, their defense, your defense, why he thinks it has to be like this, like that. So the whole judgment is like teaching you. That's what I'm saying. It will be hard for it to even appeal.
I actually meant to ask.
If they try, it will even be worse. Because if you read what the judgment the judge gave, every scenario, the judge was even like, okay, what apart from even that drug, there are other precautionary measures that prevent blood clot.
Did you
Interestingly,
take any?
it came out that Ridge has when Ridge was built, they gave them a medicine, a machine that is used for massaging the leg.
Okay.
Now that they had 5 there. One can massage about 20 patients a day, which doesn't do more than 100 patients a day. So it can't even be an excuse that machine was even problematic. They didn't use the machine on my wife's leg. They have something they call test stockings. It's like socks. They could still provide it to her. They didn't provide it. They could still ask her to walk.
They did
They
not.
didn't do it. So all this point to the fact that the mindset that, oh, let's give this lady something that will prevent blood clot wasn't even in their plan. My wife's weight was 95 kg. Now, when they came and were doing cross-examination, we asked them, what are the weight measures of women that often find themselves within? They said 70. Then we asked them, what is that lady's own? She said 95. Was she susceptible to blood clot? He said yes.
And what
so
did
why
you
did
do?
you do? Now, another interesting thing too was that they said if you are being in their administration, and so we were with the fact that we were with the notion that if you wanted to give the person the drug and the family couldn't even afford it, why didn't you give it to her? Then when it's about time to be discharged, they pay.
You charge.
They said when you come to hospital and you're on admission and you don't have money, you have to write a letter. And the judge asked them, what? I am sick. I am hospitalized. I am in your administration. You should have to take pen and paper and write a letter that I don't have money on me before you can provide me drug.
Oh, Lord.
He has never had one before.
Oh, but it happens.
No, the judge is saying he has never heard it, that you have to write a letter once you are admitted, not OPD.
Oh, Lord.
Because if you are admitted, how would you write a letter when you are admitted?
So everything points to the fact that some of them I saw it to be like an afterthought. They even brought, so at a point they brought a specialist doctor from Kolebu.
Okay.
He was the head of gynae at Kolebu. So he was more or less like friend of the court. So when there's a contention between two people, they bring third person, then they ask the person questions. So we throw questions at him. And most of the questions that we ask him point to the fact that a lot can be done that could have prevented the situation.
The death. Oof.
So that also informed the judge to see that no, there is no. So we even requested for 5 million.
Yeah.
And we're giving 3 million.
million.
Which even that should even let you understand that the judge was even more closer to what we wanted because he understand that things went wrong. And when we did our own research, this is even the highest anybody has been given, have been awarded for medical negligence.
Wow.
The last one I checked was 800,000 Ghana. Nobody has received more than that. So that tells you that we did our work very well. We're able to come. And you see, we hit them. If they are going medical, we go medical. If we are going logical, we go logical.
You did your research.
So they noticed that no, there's no way they can run away from it. So even annoyingly, when it was time for the whole proceedings to come to an end, one argument they came out with is that I told my wife that the kid has passed on, and that could have been the reason why she passed on.
Oh, how?
But interestingly, we even have more than 20 women that even testify that the day they gave birth and their wife died, whilst they were in the room, they told them I can't wait free. Like surgery is ongoing. Yeah, operation.
There and then.
Why didn't they all die?
Okay, wait. So you're like, from everything you've said so far, it makes me understand that there was no point. At no point in time did anybody from Rage actually call you and say that, you know what, we actually are sorry because we made a mistake and maybe we should resolve this amicably.
No,
nobody.
They haven't even shown remorse.
Till date.
Yeah.
4 years on.
Yeah. So even as it stands now, I'm giving them 21 days after judgment. If after 21 days I didn't hear anything, I'm personally going to file a petition against the Dr. Sofrenyo, Dr.
That's the one who dared you.
Yes, and then the one I learned he's out of reach now. There's a new director there, but he's still a medical person. So I want to file, and then the nurse, they brought a nurse who came to also lie blatantly. That yes, and she even saw me and asked me to buy it. And I was just watching her like that. I said, oh, you, this woman. But all of them, I want to petition individually.
Against them.
Then I want to also test that part because I learned the Ghana Medical and Dental Council controls the nurses and the doctors.
Okay.
So I want to file against them, a petition against them, and see whether they also have the power to crack their own whip. But now the court has proven that they were guilty. So since the court has proven, now let me see what actions are also there for them. So that's my next step.
Wow.
But I'm not going to leave them to go scot-free.
All right. So prior to this happening to you, had you ever heard of such incidents as clinical negligence? You know, I believe that in recent times, we've even had the issue of Koda, the late Koda, who came on live to talk about the fact that he was given a wrong medication that actually was killing him as opposed to helping him. Before your wife's condition or situation, had you heard anything of the sort?
So after her demise, when I filed a suit, I was on a media war with them. I was everywhere from radio, Joy FM, City FM, I was everywhere. So I started getting feedbacks. And I won't say it's small, it's voluminous. Very huge. Some of them I didn't need a follow-up small to see whether we can even push from. But some of them, you see, our Ghanaian balance and our upbringing is also an inhibition to some of these things. The farmer Nyame syndrome.
Very passive.
Even myself, at some point, me and the family has to be, so we have to cut ties for 4 years. Yeah, nobody was interested.
So it was just you as your a solo mission.
So they have a word they say sodwo. So in Akan, if you pass on through childbirth, it's not supposed to be mentioned. Yeah, so this not even supposed to have a funeral for you. They call it bad death. Yeah, they call sodwo. That's how they call it. They don't organize funeral for you a whole lot. Your image must not even come out. People must not even mention you.
So you just disappear like that.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So they were not interested in me even pursuing it. You'll be there, somebody will just call and insult you. A whole lot.
Oh my goodness.
They'll be insulting me on phone as you've not even heard embolism before you come to insult me. But as I'm saying, so the society we found ourselves is also an inhibition to some of these things. So a lot of people come to you, and when they come, you notice they have point, but the support that you want from even them, you are not even getting it. Before legally to, so the lawyer that took my case was my classmate.
Okay.
I tried a lot of lawyers, and I was with the mindset that because I'm going to sue the attorney general, I need a bigger lawyer. I needed this. So I was chasing all the bigger lawyers. Nobody was interested. I said, okay, let me go for my own classmate. He's even doing so well. He's not even a small lawyer because he's the lawyer for John Dramani Mahama.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Can you imagine? He's not a small lawyer.
He's not a small lawyer. So when I met him, he said, no problem. They'll give me
Let's take it on.
So I don't know if you know Beatrice Annan.
I know the name.
The NDC lady.
Yes, I know.
So we started with her.
Oh.
I was going to court with her till recently I noticed she's busy. Then the Chumesi Ankara took it and we pushed her out. It came to an end. And I believe that if the case is good, every lawyer that will hold it
would want to take it up.
Will make good use of it. But the zeal to push is another thing because 4 good years.
Yeah, you would have given up. I mean.
And we have never missed court before. My lawyer has never missed. I can't remember the day we have a court and it will be my stomach or my nose. If it's not there, somebody will be there to hold grief for him.
Wow.
So you also need such a person. If not, you can also not push the case.
Right.
Because when my own happened, he mentioned of the Dr. Kuto's case also happened. One Muslim guy, the wife had twins. They all died at the spot with this thing.
With the wife?
Yeah.
Jesus.
She was at the hospital. She was telling them, and they were delaying.
Jesus.
So the lady just fell down like this and she passed on with the kids still inside her. I took it upon, we push. And there was this lady too that, hers too was at Ridge Hospital. So some young lady, she was suffering from lung issue. And when they took her to Ridge, they said they suspect it's COVID. No, I have not diagnosed the person to know it's COVID. So they put her aside
Oh, good.
And then later, before they realized it wasn't COVID, and the lady died, and the mom tried to push it, but at some point, one of her uncles said, "Young German in car." That one, I was even also instrumental in it. But lately, they've called me that they want to pursue it again because it looks like the confidence.
Yeah,
has
the
come
confidence
that
is coming
when
back.
they tried, they could get justice.
Yeah, I mean, so with the litigation process, you were lucky to have had a friend show interest in it and everything. But for someone who doesn't have a friend who is a lawyer or a barrister in their clique, for someone who is a layman somewhere and doesn't have the connects or the connections, what is the litigation process like? How expensive is it?
Okay, so depending on the amount of money that you want, that will determine your filing fee.
Okay.
Now, when I was filing, then Ghana, the CD to dollar was 5 CDs to $1.
And then
And I told him I wanted $1 million. So we filed 5 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the CD are depreciated, so maybe the money being given us also depreciated.
Of course.
But even at that time, we paid almost close to 7,000 Ghana just for filing. And I know they charge banner for just coming to court. So imagine now. And imagine if I was filing for, let's say, 15 million Ghana CD. But I think that time I mentioned 15 million. And when we check the amount I'm supposed to pay, almost 20,000.
You
And I was
didn't
like,
think.
maybe I'm going to 20,000.
Minya.
Something which is even 50-50 for me with the TESO. So we have to even reduce. So the more you are reducing the amount, the more you are reducing your own filing fee.
Okay.
So the amount in the litigation itself also determines the petition you push in.
Okay.
Before the lawyer too. Some lawyers will tell you, okay, I'll take the case, but anytime we go for court, you have to pay this amount of money. They call it movement fee.
Right.
So, and we've been to court 48 times. So imagine the movement fees. Wow. Before aside that, filing, like you be filing things. Filing, every day there's a file. But when they bring a document, they have to send it to you. You have to pay the court to bring you that document. You also send document to the court. You have to pay the court to send it to them. But you are the plaintiff. So the whole system is expensive.
Right.
And there are some lawyers that can tell you, give me this amount of money for the whole process. Others do, okay, let's finish, then we strike a deal. So it depends
On
the weight
who you have.
of the case.
Okay. Okay. So, talking about where the first lawyer said that you are filing against the Attorney General, didn't that put any fear in you? Did that not scare you?
It really put fear in me because even that particular lawyer, as we are speaking now, is an appeals court judge.
Wow.
Yeah, but then he wasn't an appeals court judge. He
Okay.
was a faculty member at KNUST. I think in Ghana, he's the only person with a doctorate degree in medical law. So I felt that he would really understand it
Yeah.
and push it for me. I took plane to Kumasi, went and met him. We sat down, we did everything. He said he would push for me later. He didn't make any move. So at some point, I felt like, no, I don't need big names. I left him, went to other chambers. There's even a chamber on this stretch. I don't want to mention them. I went there, Mangosiaga. So, and one thing too is I think I also helped my own case because I was able to write everything that transpired and gave it to my lawyer and told him this is how I want the case to be.
Presented.
And I told him this is how I want it to be. From here, we move here. From here, move here. Some of them will say, no, legally, you can't do it this way.
Okay.
Legally, this is how it's supposed to do. At some point, there were even confusion between me and my own lawyer.
Wow.
Even I remember when we were having cross-examination, when he was cross-examining
The
the
defendant. is it?
doctor.
Okay.
So I was sitting back and he was cross-examining. Then I wanted him to ask some questions. Then for a very long time, he was not asking the question. So I started shouting. You said you
In the court. Wow.
So that day, everybody had front face. But when he was also writing his address, I noticed he didn't even make mention to that because he told me that with lawyers, they are not interested in hearsay, emotions. They target what they think they can dwell on and then find something that they can use to buttress their point.
And that's it.
So it's not and it went as we wanted.
Did you have faith in the judiciary system?
Oh, I had. I think the first man that took the first judge made me lose a little hope, but the second one was a female.
Okay.
She pushed it a little, then she also left. Then the third one came a little slow. He was more like sick last, so every time he's sick.
Wow.
So they have to change him, bring the fourth person. So the fourth person just came to come and augment the woman for a substantive one to come. Then when the substantive one came, he now continued to end.
So during the period of where the judges were being changed and all, did you feel that there was some power playing there trying to manipulate your case?
Everybody that has been to court for 4 years, you meet six lawyers, six
Okay.
judges. No, they transfer them.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's a system.
Okay.
The judicial. So you be on a case for a very long time. You be on a case for a while. They transfer you another person
To another.
so that they won't feel like
You're being partial.
or
right?
maybe you've taken money to support somebody. So if a case that within 5 years, within 4 years, we've had 5 judges, and it has gone on my favor. And one thing is, every judge that leaves a note. So
Okay.
if I'm going, I'll leave a note for you
For
to
the
know
next
that
one
this is
coming.
how I see it. So take it from there. So for them to give judgment on my behalf, it means there's a possibility all the 5 judges were all tuning to one way.
Right.
You understand? As
Right.
to what they are seeing and what
Right.
they think the case should look like. So it's not a difficult thing.
Okay. I like that. So 4 5 years now, how do you really feel after this win? You petitioned for 5 million Ghana cedis,
Yeah,
right?
I
And
filed
then
for 5 million.
you filed for 5 million Ghana cedis and you were awarded 3 million. How do you feel? Do you feel does it take place or does it cover the void that you feel? Does it do anything to make you feel better than you did when the incident happened, the losses that you had to deal with at the time?
I think first of all, hope. It gives me hope that at least I can come to a closure with her death. Yeah, because when she passed on, Ghana. So I married her within 2 years. She passed on. Yeah, so it was even a short marriage. I married her. We stayed together like 6 months. Then I traveled to Europe. I came to Ghana 3 weeks. She passed on.
Ooh.
So the whole thing was like I bet Thomas, and since then I've not even traveled. Okay, I used to travel, but I don't even stay anymore. I go and just come back. But like I bet Thomas so far because now I wanted judgment. So when the judgment hasn't come, it was like always you are chasing something too. So when I'm my relax because going to court every day you are looking on your phone when is your court day.
Yeah.
That is even another stressful part of the whole system. The closure there, I think it's given me a lot of closure.
Okay.
And with the judgment too, I'm okay with that. But when I read the judgment, it tells me that whatever I was thinking, it's exactly how the court also saw it. Because if I'm a lay person, I'm like, assuming it was not even my wife and someone is telling me this story, I'll be like,
Yeah.
The judgment that came also points to that same breath that I've also been raising, the same issue I've been raising. So it tells me common sense and conscience has played in the whole judgment. No malice anywhere.
Right. Right. I like that. And we sympathize with you. Condolences to you and your family. You mentioned earlier that some relatives actually thought or insulted you and felt that Opeso did jiskakeke. Now that automatic verdicts, have they reached out?
Yeah, they will reach out. They will call you.
Oh, they have.
They have to, because money is involved now.
So you give them.
When we get there, we'll see.
I like that. I like that. But
The mom is still alive, so that's where my focus
your
is.
focus is that is good.
But when she was alive, she was more on the mom, so
Okay.
that's where I want to put my mom. For the rest, yeah,
They can do
they're
whatever.
not-
I like that. In the short period that you were married to your wife, how would you describe her?
Okay, so my wife has said she was my classmate at JHS.
Hey.
But I was in A and she was B, so I didn't. Then we went for this JHS. One person's mom would die, and we went for a funeral.
Oh.
When I saw, I was like, well, you that small girl, you have become cute like that. So we dated for 3 months and we got married.
Wow.
So I met her in December. We married April, first week in April. So there was even a huge opposition to the marriage.
Oof.
And I'm called Mustapha Mohammed. She's a Kwanya. Though it's an Islamic name, but I'm not a Muslim.
You're not. Oh, okay.
So that also brought some agitation. She's an Asante. And if I say she's an Asante and I bear an Islamic name, it should tell you where I'm heading towards.
Yeah.
You have a stiff opposition.
Yeah.
I remember even her church boycotted the marriage. Yes. So her death became like, say you can't, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like everything was just dawning on me like, hey.
You
So
really
I should
have
have left
to-
this lady cry, maybe she'll be
yeah.
alive. But I felt like, no, maybe this should also open another way for something bigger to come. So at a point I was like, I will use this headache to sacrifice something. And that is when I was going around, I could have stayed quiet, for the shoot, win, anything I get, I take it on my own and live my life.
Yeah.
Everybody would have loved it that way.
Yeah.
Because as you sit down now, if I know the amount of money coming into your coffers, it would let me think a certain way for you.
True.
So no one will want everybody to know the amount of money he owns. So that if you don't know where I make my money from, I can control your mind. If you know it, I can control it. So everybody will want it. I was like, no, I want to make a mark with her debt. And I've really made that mark because it's put a lot of people on their toe to feel like, hey, and to surprise you, European Union has come on board, US aid, German, GIZ, they all called me to know because they've been putting money into maternal issues in Ghana.
Right.
So they wanted to know what really transpired. And through that, I even set up a foundation.
I like
so
that.
A Walla Foundation 2 years ago where we go to rural areas to do scanning for pregnant women. And I get midwives from the UK coming to Ghana to come and support me. We give drugs to. So at least this has also opened up something.
You know, I was actually going to ask you if you were going to get into advocacy for maternal health.
We started it already.
Brilliant.
I even was about to bring something called, the name is Ombudsman. It's very common in the UK.
Okay.
Under their national NHIS. So if you have a problem through medical negligence or malpractices, you go to them. They're like the way we have Strash here, in charge of administration. So an ombudsman for health, you go to them and they will run their own investigation as to what caused it. And if there are punitive measures, they will take on your behalf.
Okay.
So you don't even need to go to court.
All right.
We don't have anything like that in Ghana here. So I was also advocating that we could have an ombudsman for the health sector, where if someone is meted with anything of that sort, the person can just go and they'll run their own investigation. They can query the hospital, give me this. Then they'll sit down and investigate it like the way I did and write a report that, no, we think you didn't do your thing well, so do this, or even compensate this fellow with this amount of money.
Right.
Even before it gets to court.
Right.
So I think I was pushing something like that, but all requires big brains and big efforts to get it done because it becomes a legal issue.
So you are open to partnering with people who would want to get on board?
Something like this must pass through Parliament.
Okay.
Because if it has legal base, and that is where the private bill and all those things, so it has to come to a parliamentarian.
Okay.
And writing legal instrument is very expensive too. So maybe a time will come when we can see more money. We can use money to invest into those things.
I am very happy you took this on. You're a brave man, and we congratulate you as much as we sympathize with you.
Sure.
But we thank God for closure, and we are wishing you the very best in your future endeavors. But before we go, just if you would put out your social media handle or your number, if anybody would want to get in touch with you, so that you show them the way.
Yeah. Please. So I'm very popular on Facebook. I make a lot of noise on Facebook. Real Malopia.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming to have this conversation with us. And again, you showed us the way, and we'll be coming to you for more advice. Thank you very, very much. So that was a beautiful conversation with Mr. Mustapha Mohammed, aka Malopia, the gentleman who